Greetings, seekers of the strange and surreal. I am the master programmer, curator of forbidden knowledge and odd tales. Today, I bring you 3 extraordinary stories unearthed by Morpheus, our AI researcher who dives deep into the web to find obscure manuscripts and eyewitness accounts of unexplained phenomenons. These stories challenge our understanding of reality, so if you're looking for a fright, something scary to watch at night, stay with us as we delve into these 3 extraordinary tales. First, in The Janitor, Morpheus tells us a story of Henry, a janitor who begins his first solo shift in an abandoned office building. As he ventures deeper into its eerie hallways, he stumbles upon a hidden door. What he discovers beyond it is a labyrinth of nightmares. Will he escape the grasp of the shadows, or will he become their next victim? Next, in The Night Drive, 4 friends seeking a night of adventure find themselves lost in the desolate backroads. Strange occurrences and eerie lights lead them to an abandoned barn and a mysterious cabin. As the night unfolds, will they uncover the truth behind the haunting lights, or will they fall prey to the darkness? And our final story, Nocturnia, takes place in the heart of a sprawling metropolis. Mia, a curious young woman, discovers an ancient book revealing a hidden path in the city. What choices will she make when confronted with the city's darkest secrets? These stories are not for the faint of heart, so sit back, turn down the lights, and listen to the strange tales Morpheus has uncovered. Welcome to another journey into the unknown, brought to you by the .darkfiles. Henry was new to the job. Hired as a temp worker, he was filling in for the regular janitor who recently left without notice. The old building downtown was his responsibility, and after several training shifts with the day shift janitor, tonight was his first solo shift. The layout was a sprawling maze of beige walls, fluorescent lights, and empty cubicles. The company had moved out months ago, leaving behind an eerie silence that unnerved him. As Henry moved methodically from room to room, cleaning and tidying up, he noticed a door he was certain he hadn't seen during his training shifts. It was unmarked and slightly ajar, tucked away at the end of a seldom-used hallway in the basement. Curiosity got the better of him. Pushing the door open, he peered inside. The room beyond looked like every other part of the office. Beige walls, stained carpets, and a flickering fluorescent light casting an unsettling glow. But something felt different. The air was heavy. The silence was deafening. He took a step inside, intending to make a quick inspection before returning to his duties. As he wandered further, he started to feel as though the corridor stretched on endlessly. The layout was confusing, hallways branching off in unexpected directions. Henry took a mental note of his path, confident he could find his way back. Minutes turned to hours as he explored the maze of identical hallways, each filled with drab, outdated office furniture and endless rows of cubicles. The monotonous design played tricks on his mind, making it impossible to tell if he was making any progress. Desks cluttered with old papers, flickering computer monitors, and the occasional broken chair filled the space, giving it a sense of long-forgotten abandonment. As he ventured deeper, his curiosity began to wane, replaced by a growing sense of unease. The lights flickered more violently in some areas, and he could swear he saw something moving from the corner of his eye. He heard faint whispers and distant footsteps, though he knew he was alone. The silence was punctuated only by the occasional groan of the building, or was it something else? Determined to find a way out, Henry started marking his path with a piece of chalk he found in one of the cubicles. But with each cycle through the hallways, the rooms began to change. The walls grew darker, the carpets more stained, and the furniture more decrepit. The lights flickered more intensely, casting shadows that seemed to dance and writhe with malevolent intent. As he continued, the changes became more pronounced. The walls began to crack. The mold crept along the edges, filling the air with a musty, decaying smell. The office furniture was now broken and scattered, and the old papers on the desk were yellow and brittle, disintegrating at his touch. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, though no one was there. Desperation began to knot Henry's resolve. He had to find an exit, any exit. But the back room seemed to stretch on forever, an endless maze designed to trap its victims. With each new rendition, the environment grew more nightmarish. The lights above flickered erratically, and the buzzing noise grew louder, almost unbearable. Finally, he stumbled upon a room that looked different from the others, filled with a putrid stench, and in the center lay the remains of another janitor. His uniform tattered, his face contorted in a final expression of terror. The realization hit Henry like a physical blow. These were the remains of his predecessor, and this was his fate. The silence was now a growing number of distant noises, making it clear he was utterly alone. Henry sank to the floor, his mind a whirl of terror and despair. The backrooms had claimed him, just as they had claimed others. There was no escape. The empty work building had become his prison, and he was destined to wander its haunted halls forever, a prisoner of the shadows. The summer night was warm and filled with the scent of blooming wildflowers as the four friends drove down the winding back roads just outside the city. The open land stretched for miles, dotted with abandoned barns and the occasional dead end. It was the perfect setting for an impromptu adventure. Alex sat nervously in the back seat, while Casey drove with a confident grin. Jordan navigated from the passenger seat, and Sam kept it light with jokes and stories next to Alex. All at a crossroads in their life, this drove them closer together, looking for direction and escape from the norm. This night, however, they were in for much more than that. "Come on, Alex, lighten up. It's just a drive," Casey teased as she turned the wheel, guiding the car down the narrow, unpaved road. "Yeah, we needed to get out of the city for a bit. It's good for us," Sam chimed in, their voice cheerful and reassuring. Alex tried to smile, but couldn't shake the feeling of unease. "I know, it's just, these roads give me the creeps." Jordan glanced at the map on their phone. "We are just exploring, Alex. Nothing's gonna happen." The reason for their night drive was simple. They wanted to escape the noise of the city life for a few hours. The backroads promised adventure, mystery, and a chance to bond away from the hustle and bustle of their daily routines. As they drove deeper into the countryside, the friends' banter filled the car. Casey and Sam joked about local urban legends, while Jordan provided factual corrections, trying to keep the conversation grounded. Suddenly, the car's radio turned to static, crackling ominously. The friends exchanged uneasy glances as a strange noise, like a distant scream, emerged from the speakers. "Did you guys hear that?" Alex asked, his voice trembling slightly. Casey laughed it off. "It's just interference. Probably the old equipment out here messing with the signal." But the strange occurrence left a lingering sense of unease. They continued driving until an old, broken-down barn appeared on the side of the road. "Let's check it out," Casey exclaimed, pulling the car over. "Do we have to?" Alex muttered, but the others were already climbing out of the car. The barn stood like a black blot against the night sky, its wooden boards creaking in the breeze. Inside, the air was musty and filled with the scent of decaying hay and rusting tools. Shadows danced in the corner, creating an eerie atmosphere. Alex hesitated at the entrance while the others ventured inside. Casey led the way, her flashlight cutting through the darkness. Jordan and Sam followed, examining the remnants scattered throughout the barn. "Look at this," Jordan said, picking up an old tattered journal from a dusty shelf. It looks like a crazy person wrote this. It was filled with stories of strange occurrences in the area. As they flipped through the pages, Alex swore he heard footsteps, but the others dismissed it as the wind. "See? Nothing to worry about," Sam said, smiling reassuringly. "Just a bunch of old junk." After exploring the barn, the friends returned to the car, only to find that it wouldn't start. Casey tried the ignition again and again, but the engine of the old car remained silent. "This can't be happening," Alex muttered, his fear growing. As they pondered their next move, they noticed strange lights in the distance, moving erratically through the fields. "Maybe someone's playing a prank," Sam suggested, though their voice wavered with uncertainty. Jordan shook his head. "I don't think so. Those lights aren't normal." Despite Alex's protest, the group decided to investigate the lights, hoping to find help or at least an explanation. The lights led them deeper into the woods, the trees closing in around them like a living maze. Eventually, they stumbled upon another abandoned structure, this one even more dilapidated than the barn. Inside, the walls were covered in strange symbols, and the air rustled, filled with unsettling noises that seemed to come from all directions. Alex clung to Jordan, his fear palpable, while Casey tried to appear brave. "Okay, this is officially creepy," Sam said, their earlier confidence waning. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the building, followed by a chilling silence. The friends froze, their breath caught in their throats. "We need to get out of here," whispered Jordan urgently. With hearts pounding, they sprinted back towards the car. The noises and lights from the cabin were seemingly following them. In a panic, Casey fumbled her keys as they tried once again to start the vehicle. The engine eventually roared to life as they sped away from the eerie woods. As the distance grew, so did their sense of relief, but the night's events weighed heavily on their minds. "What do you think happened back there?" Alex asked, still shaken. Casey shrugged while slowly shaking her head, trying her best to keep her composure. "Who knows? Maybe it was just our imagination." Jordan remained silent, engulfed in their thoughts, recounting what they had all just experienced. Sam had a slight twitch in his smile. "At least we all made it out. Maybe some things are better left unexplored." The group made their way back towards the city, looking towards the glistening skyline with relief. A strong breeze of cold air slithered around Casey. With all the windows up in the car, she had no explanation for this. She kept to herself as no one else in the car reacted. She repeatedly whispered to herself, "It was just our imagination." In the heart of an old, sprawling metropolis, a young woman named Mia found herself exploring the bustling streets for the first time. Having just arrived for a research project, she decided to take a nighttime stroll to acclimate herself to her new surroundings. The city, with its towering skyscrapers and vibrant nightlife, seemed to pulse with an energy that was both inviting and strange. Mia wandered through the neon-lit avenues, admiring the blend of modern and historic architecture. She felt an almost magnetic pull, guiding her deeper into the maze of streets and alleyways. As she walked, the sound of distant sirens and street musicians filled the air, adding an ethereal quality to the night. Turning a corner, Mia stumbled upon a small, forgotten courtyard. In the center stood an old, ivy-covered fountain, its water glistening under the city lights. She noticed a figure sitting on the fountain's edge, an elderly woman with a shawl wrapped tightly around her shoulders. The woman's eyes, though tired, held a spark of mischief. "Good evening," Mia greeted, trying to mask her unease.
"Good evening, dear,"
the woman replied, her voice a soft whisper. "You must be new here." "Yes, I am. Just arrived today. It's a beautiful place, but a bit overwhelming at night." The old woman nodded. "This place has many secrets. Be careful where your curiosity leads you." Mia thanked the woman and continued her exploration, her mind buzzing with the cryptic warning. She walked for what felt like hours, the streets becoming narrower, the buildings more worn. Just as she considered turning back, she spotted a faint light emanating from a basement window of an old bookstore. Drawn by her love of books and the promise of adventure, Mia approached the store. The door creaked open, revealing shelves upon shelves of ancient books. An elderly shopkeeper appeared from behind a dusty counter, his eyes twinkling with curiosity. "Welcome, traveler. What brings you to my humble shop at this hour?" "I'm just exploring and found your store." "It's incredible," Mia exclaimed, marveling at the collection. The bookseller nodded. "Every book here has a story, just as every street in the city does. But be warned, some stories are better left unread." Ignoring the caution, Mia pawed at the books until her eyes fell on a peculiar one bound in dark leather. The title, embossed in gold, read, Nocturnia. Intrigued, she opened it to find a map that seemed to mirror the city's layout, but with one significant difference: a hidden path leading to an unknown part of the city. Her heart raced as she traced the path with her finger. Without a second thought, she purchased the book and rushed into the night, determined to uncover the mystery. The map led her through twisting alleys and forgotten courtyards, eventually bringing her to a hidden doorway covered in graffiti and ivy. Taking a deep breath, Mia pushed the door open and stepped into a dark corridor. She followed the corridor until it opened into a grand, abandoned ballroom. The room was bathed in a silver light, and in the center stood a mirror, its surface rippling like water. Compelled, Mia approached the mirror. As she reached out to touch it, the surface shimmered and a scene unfolded before her eyes. A vision of the city, but not as she knew it. This was a darker, shadowy version, where the spirits of the past roamed freely. Suddenly, the elderly woman from the courtyard appeared in the reflection, her face now ageless, her eyes glowing with an otherworldly light.
"You found Nocturnia. Few have, and fewer still return. But you have a choice. Embrace the shadows, handle their secrets, or return to the light and the safety of your home."
Mia felt a chill run down her spine. The lure of the unknown was strong, but the weight of the old woman's warning hung heavy in her mind. With the final glance at the mirror, she made her decision. Stepping back, she whispered, "I choose the light. For now." Instantly, the mirror's surface solidified, and the vision vanished. The ballroom dissolved into darkness, and Mia found herself standing back in the city's familiar streets, the first light of dawn breaking on the horizon. She clutched the book tightly, knowing that the secrets of Nocturnia would remain a mystery, at least for now. As she walked back to her new apartment, Mia couldn't help but feel a sense of awe. The city was indeed filled with secrets, and little did she know her journey into the heart of Nocturnia had only just begun. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the chills, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Stay vigilant. The unknown is always closer than you think.